Hey everyone, it's Lisa Davis from Lisa Davis Body Construction. Today I want to share with you the 3 things I always make sure to take with me when I travel so I never have to miss a workout. After traveling consistently for the last 10 years with my husband, who travels a lot for work, I have whittled it down to these 3 things because a lot of times there's a gym, but it is ill-equipped, or there's not a gym when you thought there was one. And I've brought too much stuff with me, and then you're toting that around the whole time. So these 3 things take up the least amount of space. They'll give you the most bang for your buck. The number 1 thing I always bring is my jump rope. It's light, it's packed small, and it gives you a lot of options for cardio. You can mix it in between weights or body weight exercises, and you can just get a lot of bang for your buck. This is my 4mm PVC rope that I got from Dope Ropes. I take it with me every time I go somewhere. The second thing that I bring after the jump rope, so if I could only bring one thing, it would be the jump rope, because I can always do body weight exercises in some manner. But if I have room, I'm going to bring a yoga mat. It opens up a lot more options. And I know you're probably like me, where you're like, I want to work out on the beach. It's awesome, you've got beautiful scenery, but it's really hard to do burpees on a beach, and you can't jump rope on the sand. But if you lay this out, suddenly it opens up a lot more options there. You can do those things that you couldn't do before on the sand. My number 3 thing that I'll bring if I have room in my luggage is my TRX. If you're not familiar with these, obviously it's really small, packs light, and it's just a band, or a strap I should say, that you can do all sorts of muscle work with. I like a lot of high intensity interval training, so you're gonna get some nice muscle work with squats, push-ups, pull-ups, triceps, abs, really anything under the sun you can do with one of these. If you can't leave your hotel room, this little handy thing goes in the door and you have that as your anchor. But if you're outside or somewhere with a place that you can hang it, you can use this little strap, and it just comes out over the tree branch or whatever you're going to use, and that's your anchor from above. So I know I've said 3 things, but there's a few other things that I always bring with me. One is my water bottle, one's my AirPods, one's my watch, and one's my shoes. Back in January of this year, I went with my husband on an extended trip. It was a couple weeks long, and we went through different time zones, and some of the places were warm and some were cold, and I was trying to pack really light because I didn't want to drag all this with me through these different places and all the different hotels. And I was tempted to leave out some of the stuff. But I was glad I brought my water bottle, because when I was in Japan, it was hard to get some water sometimes, especially the amount that I drink. I drink a lot while I work out and I sweat a lot. I was glad I had my AirPods, because sometimes with the time zone differences, it was harder to get motivated. And I got some great music, crank it up on the AirPods, and I'm off. And also, I always track my workouts, so this made it feel more like home. I was able to keep track of how many calories I was trying to burn and stay on target with my goals. Sometimes it's tempting to leave out your shoes because they take a lot of space in your bag. I just had a carry-on, and this stuff takes a lot of space. But I was so glad I brought my good shoes. So I know it's super tempting to skimp out on these things, but they're the things that make or break your trip. And your husband might pressure you. Don't let him do it, because you're going to be happier. You can tell him, hey honey, I'm going to be happier if I bring it, and that's going to make you happier. So just to recap, I always make sure to bring my jump rope. If I have room, I stick in my yoga mat and my TRX and the other essentials that I mentioned. And I never regret it, and I bet you won't either.